Hello everyone, Robe here, or RobeTheMatoran. This is my review of set number 75362, AHSOKA TANO'S T-6 JEDI Shuttle. This contains 599 pieces, and it retails for $80 US. I'm not sponsored by LEGO. It also contains 4 minifigs. This is the only set that you can get the new AHSOKA minifig in, actually. Obviously, this is based from the AHSOKA show with the very nice AHSOKA Tano graphic art on the side of the box and the turquoise strip going across. So today's video, I'm going to help you decide if you want to pick this up or not. On the back of the box, you get the shuttle in its landed mode, and you get an action set piece in the back, with also showing off some of the functions on the box as well, just showing off what it can do. Now taking a look outside the box, you get 6 numbered bags and a sticker sheet and a very weird instruction manual. It's really long. I don't know why they put that in this set. It's kind of weird. After a rather simple but really fun building experience, the T-6 shuttle is now finally complete, and it looks pretty good from almost all angles. I'll get into that in a little bit. Now, looking at this ship, I think that this set is a little small. It's smaller than I was anticipating. I thought it would be a lot bigger, but it's not as bad as I initially thought, because looking at some other videos and, pictures online, I was like, that thing is really small. But actually having it in hand, I don't think it's so small as I may have thought. It's small, but it's still decently sized. This head has an amazing color scheme going on with the dark red and gray because it looks really good. However, it is slightly inaccurate because in the show, it's more like white than gray, but I really am not going to sit here and complain about a color scheme that it still looks really good. I mean, obviously it's a lot better than just the black and gray that we get from most Star Wars sets, or just gray. It's a nice change of pace to actually have some color into this set. Aside from that, I think this set has some really good angles on it, so you can really display it in various many ways, except for the main side that I will be getting to just a moment. But it looks good. Like, you can display it in any way. You can have it in the landed mode, or you can have a stand and have it like that. Obviously, that's the preferred way, but still, you can have this displayed and it looks good for most shots. So I don't think you're going to be disappointed on the aesthetic and view of it from most angles. With that being said, let's actually start looking at the functions. One of the first major functions is that you can only put one minifig in the cockpit. So you can put a minifig in there, but literally one, and that's what it's designed for, unfortunately. So I find that a bit bad because the original one they had in, I think, 2012, that you could fit like 4 minifigs in it. Another feature is that you can have 2 stud shooters on the front of it, which is not as bad as the Republic gunship is, but I don't really care for stud shooters though, however. But looking on the side, that you actually have 2 compartments on each side of the ship where you can put some items in, some very small items like lightsabers, helmets, or wrenches even, but you cannot fit anyone in there. So this is not like, oh well, it's interior space, you could put a character in there. No, you cannot. It just doesn't work. So it is only enough space for like really accessories. So you're not gonna get much room in there, unfortunately. I think that's pretty bad. Like, the biggest and main function is that you can spin the wings around in the 360 motion. If you can get your hands or fingers in a right, holding the ship in the right way, you can actually spin it around at pretty much at your leisure, and you can get a nice breeze along with it too. So it's a really good function. It's really satisfying to do. I cannot stress that enough. It feels really good to do it. Now finally addressing the elephant in the room, the underside is atrocious. When you look at the underside of the wings, it looks so bad. Oh my god, I have never seen something this lazily done in a pretty long time in Star Wars. Like, most ships they do now, they have like an underside and it looks pretty detailed and concise and it's structured, but this is just like, they just gave up. They said, I don't know what to do. So it hit the budget. The budget, it's too expensive to adding more pieces, so we're just gonna just put it like that. And also, I forgot to mention that it does have landing gear, like slightly with these 2 little pieces you can slide out, and it's pretty good. It's not the greatest because if you slide them in, it kind of flops over like that. Now finally taking a look at the minifigs. The first one up is AHSOKA Tano, and this is probably the best minifig out of the entire set. Now all these minifigs are good, but I think she's the best one with her amazing clear frosted lightsaber blades, because we have not gotten that. Like even in Rebels they gave us just blue, and I thought that was obviously a misstep. They should have gave us, you know, these colors. Now I don't think white would have been good, because I think white would have looked too weird. I think this is probably the best that we're gonna get with those lightsabers for Ahsoka, but I think it looks good all around. And she has arm printing, leg printing, and even toe printing. She is printed all out. She even has a new molded headpiece, like for her, I don't know what they're called, but her head tentacles. It's really good. I mean, I think this minifig looks good all around. And now looking at the back, I do think that like the back, like the print they did on the back where it shows like her skin, I think they could have did that a little bit better, because it don't quite match the look of her arms and her face even, so it's a little bit noticeable, but it's not too bad. I think it's something you can kind of look over, honestly, because everything else looks so darn good. Now the second face she has is kind of I'm not really crazy about the second face. I don't really think I like it all that much. I think the first face is good, but the second face just doesn't really feel like Ahsoka to me. But I don't know, it's hard to really explain, but I just don't really like the second face all that much. Next up is Professor Hugh Yang, and I think he looks pretty good, honestly, all around. He has pretty good printing, and he looks just good. Now, the only criticism I give him is that he's kind of the wrong color, because in the Clone Wars, yes, he was tan and brownish like this, but in the Ahsoka show, he's more like silver. But I guess Lego got the idea of this. They, you know, Disney gave them the information about this character in the design, but they didn't really tell them that they was going to just change the color out of the blue for the actual show. So it's not Lego's fault. I think it's just Disney's fault yet again. I do think that he looks kind of weird. Like his head looks kind of weird. It's good. It looks good, but it's kind of strange. And they was originally supposed to go with a more droid aesthetic with them, but they didn't. They kind of more went with obviously the minifig body, like kind of like C-3PO. So, but he's kind of doesn't really have like that human shape like C-3PO has. He's a lot slimmer. He's like more like a battle droid. But I mean, I guess it can't be perfect, but it looks good. I mean, honestly, it looks great. I think there's really no complaints, because even the color scheme, and yes, it's not accurate to the show currently, but it's still accurate to the Clone Wars show. So, I mean, you have a Clone Wars minifig here, so I think you can't really go wrong with that, right? Next is Marok, and he is a interesting character here because he has a lot of prints, a lot of extra stuff on him, because he has this crazy like knight's helmet almost, and he has a recolored and reprinted Grand Inquisitor's like chest armor piece thing, and like the 2014 version at that. So it's kind of crazy to see that piece back after so many years, and it looks good. It looks good for this character. I think that he looks really good. Now, I think the print's kind of weird because he's kind of got this rusted look, like he's some type of droid, but he's not a droid, so I don't really get why he has like rust on him, because in the show he doesn't look like he has that on him, but they for some reason decided to put that here, so kind of strange. But I mean, what else can you really do? But now you could take off some of his armor piece, and the print for his armor is still on his like the main body, and it still looks really good, but obviously the armor piece makes him look better. And he has no face, which kind of makes sense for the show. I'm not gonna spoil it. Just if you've seen the show and you've seen some of the episodes, it'll make sense. But also he can have his Inquisitor lightsaber, because that's what it looks like. It's the Inquisitor lightsaber hilt, and he can put it on his back just like the Inquisitors can. So kind of weird. Not like weird, but just for the story it's kind of weird. But regardless, he looks really good. I think he's a great minifig. Last and certainly not least, we have Sabine Wren, and this is her newest iteration, obviously, for the show, and I think she looks really good. I think I like this outfit more than her outfits that she had in Rebels. Maybe. I mean, that what she had in those in the Rebel sets were pretty good, and the hair pieces were good as well. But I think this one looks really good. It kind of stands out. Now, I'm not a big fan of the helmet. Honestly, I think the helmet's kind of like the weakest point, and usually for Mandalorian minifigs, that's obviously the coolest part. But for Sabine, I think the helmet kind of just takes away from her design. I personally am more of a fan of the hairpiece, which I'm very glad they actually included into this set, which is rare for Lego to actually have hairpieces included, but they can. Obviously, there's sets I have reviewed that they do that with, but I think I think that looks really good. So I kind of prefer without the helmet. Her hairpiece just looks better, even with her purple Karen hair color. Anyway, she also has a she actually has a lightsaber. I'm not gonna tell you what happened, why she has it, or in the story. If you know the story, then you know why she has it. But she does come with a green lightsaber, and I think that looks really good. Also, because it's nice to get a lightsaber in it. Lightsaber, and stuff. Obviously, it's frosted, so it looks really good. And yeah, so Sabine looks good. I think she's a good minifig. I mean, I know I put her last, and I would say out of the other minifigs, she's kind of like the weakest one, but she's still really good. I mean, you're not getting bad minifigs here. This is still a good minifig. This is not like, oh, well, don't get her. I think this is still a really good minifig. Final thoughts. I think this set is a really good set. Do I recommend you getting it? I think you should possibly wait for a deal, but honestly, it's not even a bad deal. I mean, I think the $80 is a touch expensive for this set because like it is kind of a small little set, and I think that waiting for a good deal for like 20% off, you'll be really cooking with gas with that. So I say buy it now if you really are excited for Ahsoka and you really just like the show and you really want to get the Ahsoka minifig and Sabine and all these other minifigs, then yeah, get it right now. But if you're patient and you can just wait, then I'll wait for the deal for then you can, save a little money. But I rate this set I'm gonna say at 8.9. It's really good, but that underside of the wings, the other side of the wings look so bad. Like when you look at it, it's like, oh my god, that is terrible to look at. But everything else is good. Like it has great minifigs, the functions are good, it looks good. Unfortunately, there's no interior space, so that's a little like, well, like you can't even put the other minifigs in there, so it's just one that can fly in and that's it, and you can just put the accessories in there. So I think that's kind of bad. But other than that, really good set. Those have been my thoughts. Tell me yours down in the comments because I read every single comment. And with that, everyone, I will bid you all adieu.